And welcome back. Well, Leaders Igniting Transformation, or LIT, L-I-T, began a couple of years ago to help young people of color find their voice and use it through art to bring about change.
And here to tell us about some of their initiatives are cultural organizers Corey Fells and Nailah Johnson. And in a few minutes, we're going to hear a spoken word performance as an example of the work they hope to cultivate. Great to see both of you.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. Yeah. This is lit. You've been
no cap.
Right, no cap about that. You guys have been around since 2017, and your issues are helping to organize things that affect Black and brown young people in our communities in lots of different ways, right?
Yes. Yes, we're looking to kind of bring Black and brown artists together. For so many years, there's been so many times that there's been one artist that just pretty much just takes off, and there's not a community of people that look to support them and hopefully bring up that proverbial elevator or that proverbial escalator back down to bring another one. So at least hopefully within this program, we're looking to touch many different bases and many different mediums of art so that does not happen again. So if we have another artist that are able to excel outside the city of Milwaukee or Wisconsin, that they're fully supported, and we have another one coming up right after them.
I love that. Talk a little bit about some of the events you do, the Lit Power Hour, artist workshops, cultural art events, and what the importance is of these specific events for the youth that you provide them for.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of the things LIT does, LIT's been around, like you said, since 2017. We do a lot of work with high school students through our organizing work on college campuses, and then as well as in the community, which is the work that Corey and I mostly focus on. Yeah. Some of the events we have are happy hours, like called the Lit Power Hour. We've had events in the past at Turner Hall called Ballot Bash, events called Black and Brown Get Down, where we're really bringing the community together, local Black and brown businesses, organizations that really want to build and support each other, and educating the community on the issues that we're facing, how we can empower each other to overcome those issues, and then really incorporating that with culture and art. So yeah, that's a lot of what we do.
So it's really getting these young artists to be agents of change, as you said, to actually do something to move the needle.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
To
Absolutely.
Not just participate in something or observe, but to be part of affecting change.
Yes,
absolutely.
Most certainly, and especially with showing live examples of that. There's a program we're going to have as far as like a workshop that's going to happen every quarter, and we're going to bring in a nationwide or globally well-known creative that's going to pretty much come into the city and just advocate and just kind of tell the city like, hey, this is something that you guys are doing great. But the unique thing about that is we're going to pair that nationwide talent with the local talent, and we're going to allow them to be able to speak on the stage for others to be able to kind of hear and understand. We have a local talent here that we can champion just as much as we can champion the people that we're going to bring in here. So our first guest is going to happen, our first workshop is going to happen in March. And it's pretty much predicated around Women's Month. So March is Women's Month, and we're going to be bringing in Draylee S., who is a photographer who's taken photos for Beyonce, Pharrell, Prada, Gucci, and she's very well known and also an advocate for like women's rights, and she's very outspoken. And I don't want to say too much, but we're partnered with No Studios, and No Studios will be allowing us to host that event.
Wonderful.
I love it. I love that this is an artist who's not just a performance artist, but truly an artist in all different aspects that you're doing it. Talk about the C-Space, because you've got events coming up soon that people can learn about as well. This is truly the space that you're cultivating those agents to become agents of change, as you say.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, Nailah can be able to take that away.
Yeah, C-Space is, it's an intentional program. It's supposed to be very intensive, and it's really around the artists, Black and brown artists and creatives coming in. There's about 5 things that we're focusing on with artists. So career artist development, we're looking at co-creation, cultural strategy, expanding networks, and then just being able to host events and like really empower folks around the work that we're doing. So it's really going to be for the month, at least for the year of 2020, we have monthly meetings for C-Space. Our first C-Space meeting is actually going to be happening on the 25th of this month. from 2 to 5 p.m.
Yeah, so I was going to give details about the 2 different C-Space events we want to share, and then let you just briefly introduce the spoken word performance.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the C-Space events coming up, the first one is the date you just mentioned, which is Saturday, January 25th from 2 until 5. And then on Saturday, February 22nd, also 2 to 5. You're located at 2201 North MLK Drive, which is where people can find you. And online, you will locate them at litmke.org. And now, what is it we're about to see?
We're going to see a spoken word performance with our guitarist. Burnett will be the one that will be speaking with, or doing the spoken word poem. And then Malik Patterson will be the guitarist, playing a little soft music behind her.
Love it.
Awesome. Take it away, guys.
Hey, TMJ4. We create a tapestry with our stories, each street like thread, weaving together communities, creating a community of quilt, building a blanket block by block, our backs, our bones, our bodies, our beings, seaming together generations through song and string. We sing and seek the shawls of our grandmothers because wrapped in them are prayers that cover us into the present. Our art in a time lapse shows us what time we're in, and now is the time to rise in God and in conscience. And though this life is constant with catastrophe and calamity, we don't have to add on the cloak of condemnation. While our thread splits, our tread shifts through conversations that seek interconnectedness but also changing not just in our clothes, but in our life, and most importantly, in our heart with Christ. And now, with Christ. Though thorns are on our head and needles are here to stay, and though we wear our chains, remember, we have nothing to lose but our chains.